So then he like pulls my shirt down and starts, Sunday night story time. Family, please do not watch this video. Boys, please do not watch this video. You know, on my aunties, don't do it. Don't judge me. Just don't do it. Y'all don't want to watch this. Y'all don't want to know. Even though the story's hella fake. You know, like I'm freaking 30 years old now. I was like, I'm gonna try to like really date people. You know, like you know what they talk about at church? Like that's the kind of dating I'm gonna do. I didn't know that by, you know, signing up on Tinder, it was basically the pool of people that are just looking to hook up. That didn't really ever click in my mind. So before I tell you this story, just think that like my little naive ass self was just like, oh, I'm gonna find love on Tinder, or I'm gonna find somebody, you know, who I can like be friends with and hang out with and enjoy conversation with. Yeah. Anyways, so this is how my first date on Tinder went. Okay, so let's just fast forward, right? I'm like too much backstory. 4th of July. My sisters all got drunk and funny. And we were supposed to go out that night because what was 4th of July last year? It was the weekend. It was either Friday or Saturday, something, right? While they're all drinking and the food is being cooked by my brother, I'm on Tinder, you know, just swiping away, chatting, whatever. Anyways, some guy who's like hella handsome, right? I need to block this dude on my social media so he doesn't watch this video. Immediately was like, would you like to go out for drinks tonight? And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm like, finally, somebody who's just getting to the point. In my head thinking like a real date, not a hookup. Okay, so then what happened? Okay, so then this other guy, a Dominican dude. So I'm going to be talking about people's races and not to be racist, obviously, because I'm not, but just to, you know, describe the scene. The other guy was Dominican, and he looked familiar, like I had known him in high school. I swiped right because I felt like maybe we had the same friends group or something. And also in his bio, he just said, just be yourself. And I was like, that's so cute. You know, I'll swipe right anyways. And he kind of got straight to the point too. Like after we were just like exchanging hi and byes, he was like, hey, you want to meet up for drinks? I was like, yeah, I would. So this is what I did. I planned the night to meet up with that guy first and then meet up with the other guy. And I've been watching these like dating YouTube things. And one of the ladies was like, literally just get all your dates done in one day. You know, so you don't have to dress up every weekend. And then also like, you're not just focused on one dude. I was like, okay, so I'm going to try it. But you know, in the video about the dating, it was more like, you know, meet for coffee kind of dates, not meet for drinks, late at night kind of dates. So whatever, you know, whether I was being naive or what's the other word, dude. Can my English like be on point lately? I don't know, but it hasn't been. I don't know if I was just like being ignorant because I didn't want to know, or I was also like thinking, no, we'll just keep going with the damn story, right? A little bit of a rewind. Me and my sisters were supposed to go out because I wanted to meet some cuties because, you know, I was single. Then they all got drunk and went home and went to sleep. So I was like still up, wanting to mingle. So I made some dates. Date number 1. I met him and okay, this is how I'm going to describe how he was dressed because I was just like blown, like floored. This fool was wearing a bandana, like rolled up to where it's like this, like tied on his head. And it was a American flag bandana. And then he was wearing a white t-shirt with, you guys know those like fisherman pants where they like unzip like in like sections of your pants, like there's 3 sections and then you can unzip it, so like how short you want the shorts to be. He was wearing those like cargo pants-ish kind of pants. And then on both sides he had one section zipped off, and then he was wearing red thermals underneath, like long johns, and some kind of tennis shoes, right? And so at first I'm like, dude, you look like a clean homeless person. Like, that's how I could like describe how he was dressed. And then, you know, I'm thinking maybe he's wearing the flag bandana because it's 4th of July. So I'm like, oh, nice flag. He's like, yeah, what's the matter? This is my country. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, and I'm like, oh, are you wearing that because of 4th of July? He's like, no. Like, he just, like, didn't even, like, realize it was 4th of July or something. He was just like, no. I was like, okay. Anyways, so this is what this fool looks like. He's sitting at the bar. Oh, that's another thing. When I showed up, this fool smelled like a pound of... And, you know, like, I'm not against people smoking. It's legal in Alaska anyway. But I was just kind of like, I don't want to like date somebody that just is just that just smokes like that, you know. He's like looking me up and down, like he's trying to like freaking devour me, and I'm kind of just like standoffish because I don't like when people get too comfortable like that. Like, I don't even know you, right? And so he's like trying to like touch me, hug me, and just like be like on me. I was like, hey, like, you know, I was like, I actually don't really want to touch you. And he's like, what? Why? And I was like, I don't know you. Like, I don't know you. Anyways, you know, so in my head, I'm thinking we're just having a regular date, but in his head, he thinks it's a hookup.
Duh.
But like, I have no hookups in my bio is what I was thinking at the time. And, you know, that wasn't discussed. And he's being annoying. Freaking annoying. Like, he called me a bitch, just like, nah, stop being a bitch, like, just like randomly. And he was like, it was just so freaking weird, because I was trying to ask him, I was like, so who's your friends? I feel like I know you. He's like, nah, I've never met you. Like, I was like, okay. Excuse my accent that I'm trying to like sound like him, because it's probably not on point at all. But anyways, so he's like, no, I've never met you. Never met you. Who do you know? You know? And I'm just like naming people off. He's like, nope, I don't know those people at all. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, I'm that kind of person that's kind of mean. So I was kind of talking shit. And then he was like, I was judging him. So he was like, you know, you can learn something from everybody that you meet. Like, that's how I am. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So we're kind of just like low-key fighting. Like, he tries to like grab my waist. And I'm like, oh, it's cool. I was like, it's cool. Like, I don't need to be touched. I don't really know you like that. And he's like, what? What do you mean you don't know me? Like getting really offended by me just like being a regular person, not wanting to be touched by a freaking stranger. Already like, I'm like, oh, this is not good. Like, I'm about to leave.
So then dude says,
you want to go downtown? And I was thinking, actually, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's go downtown. And then he was like, yeah, let's take your car. And I'm like, no, fool. We are not about to take my car. I don't know you, first of all. So, you know, I'm thinking this can maybe be my escape. Like, we can just go downtown and then maybe I can like meet him wherever we're going to be and then ditch him, right? Is what I'm thinking. So, but he's like trying to ride with me. And I'm like, no, where's your car? And then he's like, oh, my girlfriend dropped me off. I'm like in my head, I'm like, I hope you're joking, right? Anyways, if my face gets red, it's because I'm drinking wine. And I haven't drank in a while. I say, I didn't know there was an outside because I see a creek in the back. And then he's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, okay, whatever, let's go. You know, I still have my little seltzer in my hand. I was like, I might as well finish my drink before I leave, right? We're standing outside. And he's tall. He's handsome, right? But he just looks like a nerd. Like a freaking karate nerd. Anyway, because he kind of like has a baby face too. And whatever. So he looks like a little karate nerd. He like trying to move close to me. And I'm like, dude, fool. Like, I don't want to be that close to you. He's like, dang, man. Blah, blah. Who hurt you? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, we're by the creek. And this fool pulls out like a fat from I don't know where. And he freaking throws his trash into the creek. Like, you know how the little come in like the little plastic canisters? Yeah, he freaking throws that thing in the creek. And I'm like, dude, you're hella rude. Like, he was like, what? I'm not hurting nobody. And then, you know, I'm just extra. So I'm like, yeah, you are. Look at that seagull right there. It could swallow it and freaking die. And then we start arguing stupidly about that because he's like really actually arguing with me. And then anyway, so he's like smoking his little stuff. And then he looks like into my eyes, like I'm hella feeling him or something. And he's like, wow, you're so beautiful. I'm like, thanks. I know. And then he's like, don't you feel like kissing me right now? And I'm like, no, I really, really do not feel like kissing you right now, right? The next thing that happens is super freaking weird. Super freaking weird. But then he goes, look, B word, I've been effing and effing and effing you. And what the F? I forgot how it went. He said, I've been effing and effing and effing you. And you still don't have my baby yet. Blah, 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 blah. But he's like keeps saying this stuff. And then I'm thinking in my head, sitting there like, oh, this fool is just crazy. Well, he don't know crazy because I'm freaking crazy and I'm sober. He wants to play like that, I'm gonna play it like that. Then I'm like, look here, bro. Look here, bro. And I'm looking in his eyes. Yeah, it's because I never effing loved you. Because guess what? I got rid of all your kids. Yeah, I got rid of them. I don't ever want to have them, and we're done. And he like looks at me like taken aback. Like I wasn't gonna reply to his crazy. So then he like looks at me like, I'm like, yeah, I never effing loved you. You know, I just keep like going with this little weird story. And then he's like, you're cool, right? Like puts his arm around me. And I'm like, I know I'm cool, but you're kind of weird. So I'm going to leave. And I leave, right? Then I hit up guy number 2, who was very handsome from his pictures anyways. And I'm like, you know, I'm excited, but he looked like he was, I don't know if you guys like on like dating apps, like if you start like feeling insecure, like when they're actually cute or when they look like they have like a good job or something, like they're actually real grown-ups. You know, I'm not judging. It's just like, it's kind of like where I'm at. You're in your 30s and you're in this dating pool, you know, where freaking some 29-year-olds look like they're 50 years old, and then some 45-year-olds look like, damn, wicked. I will, you know, we will see what happens. I saw that he was from New York, and he said something really cute in his bio that I hella remember, and it was like, looking for that special someone or something like totally corny, right? But I thought it was cute because I'm, you know, I'm corny as F too. I feel like my face is so red. It is. Maybe I should re-record this when my face isn't red. Whatever, I'm cute. I'll be right back. I'm gonna try to fix that. Date number 1 is a freaking fail. Like a freaking fail. What should we call him? Let's call him Louis, I don't know. No, I can't use his real name. Well, it doesn't matter because this is a fake story. Who cares? Dude number 2. The original plan when we were messaging during 4th of July was that he was going to be with his group of friends who are all visiting Alaska, and I was going to be with my sisters. Right? So we were all going to meet and hang out.
So then
I text him and I say, hey, yeah, my sisters aren't with me anymore. Did you still want to hang out? I kind of don't want to hang out with all, you know, with like a group of people I don't know. And then he calls me. Okay. And he has a heavy accent, right? Like, he can speak English well. He just had an accent. let's call him Lucas. Yeah, so we'll call him Lucas. Anyway, so he's Ukrainian, right? And he tells me over the phone, he's like, yeah, as you can tell, I'm Ukrainian. I'm not going to try to do his accent because I will just sound like I'm just being a jerk because I don't really know how it is. But, you know, first it was Dominican and now it's Ukrainian, you know, but whatever. I was excited to see him. I was kind of nervous, but okay, so I pull over like right next to my cousin's house because she lives on the way there. Hi, Fia. I was like, hey, I'm about to meet up with this dude off Tinder. I shared my location and I was like, hey, if I don't call you like in an hour or text you in an hour, you know, like call the police, right? So then after I send my location to my cousin and my little sister, I drive to the bar that he says he's at, and I think I see him like right outside. But I was kind of nervous and I obviously didn't know him. So I didn't really want him to see my car or see me come out of my car. I don't know. It was just in the back of my head. Like I just didn't want him to know that this was my car. But I think he recognizes me anyways and starts walking up to my damn car, even though that's not what I wanted to happen. I try to like pull in a little further than where he was so he wouldn't walk up to me, but he's still walking up to me. Anyways, so I get out of the car and I immediately notice, no shade on anybody who is short because I learned a lesson on this date. I will never underestimate short men again. They can get it too. Anyways, so that's just a little like something extra. Anyways, I'm not a small girl, okay? I like right now, I like lost like freaking 20 pounds. And right now I'm freaking still like 185, 190 right now. And I'm 5'5". Like I'm not a small girl, okay? So this fool is like same height as me, maybe an inch taller, right? Maybe an inch taller. Still handsome, you know, just like short, like my size and height, and definitely way skinnier than me. Like, you know, like a normal man. I feel like Tongan girls, like their average is like bigger than a regular dude. But anyway, so this is where I'm like in my head, okay, you know, like he's not my type and he's smaller than me. You know, whatever. I was like, you know what? Let's just treat this like we're just hanging out. We're just friends. Because, I mean, that's really what it is anyways. But I was just like, you know, I was kind of hoping to meet the love of my life. But, you know, whatever. So we're just walking because the bar that he was at was really, really full. So he's asking me if I know the area. And of course I know this area. It's my town. So I like immediately say, yeah, let's go to this bar, which is kind of like a walk. And, you know, he's so handsome and cute. And he's just like, and he's like a salt and pepper hair. We end up walking to this bar. And he orders drinks, right? And immediately I say I need to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom and I text my sister Leanna. Leanna, if I do not text you in 30 minutes, it's because I'm getting drugged, right? I was like, and you need to come get me. And anyways, so he's like hella nice, like extremely nice. We're talking. He's like a gentleman. He like opens all the doors. He pays for all the drinks. I even offered to pay for some and he's like, no. In my country, yeah, women never pay for anything on date. I'm like, perfect. I was just like, great. I love your country. Thank you. Like, okay, you know, points, right? He was just so nice. He was so nice. He was worried about people playing darts behind me, so he was trying to like move me. He's like, you should come over here because of that. And I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. He was so cute. Like the conversation was really great. Except because, you know, I'm really into zodiac signs. I asked him what his sign was and he said a Leo. And I asked him when his birthday was. And it was my baby daddy's birthday. I was like, oh, what a coinkydink. that comes out, and then, you know, I'm a Cancer. So he's like, yeah, Leos and Cancers really go well together. And I'm like, they really like me. I don't know about us liking them back. Like, we have about like 3 rounds at this point. And he, like, the more comfortable that we're, like, the more drunk that we get, like, the better conversation we have. And I feel like, it's probably the alcohol. Like, I don't know if he was getting extra comfortable. Like I could just start understanding him better. So I don't know if it was his alcohol or my alcohol that I was understanding him better, or that he was speaking better. But anyways, I started like really liking him, like, and feeling him, right? Like, oh, okay, whatever. And then, so we're walking to this other bar, which is kind of down the street, but I figure I've been drinking anyways, so I need to be cool, right? So a walk will do me good. And, he's just so nice. Like cool. Like, you know, when you meet somebody and they're like not faking the funk and they're just like really just being themselves, and it like always helps when they're like a gentleman. Yeah. Anyways, so he was just like cool. Anyways, there's just like so much like, what's the freaking word? He was just a gentleman, and there's another word that I will put on the screen and be like, duh, Anna, that's the word. From the vibe, other than like, you know, like, wow, he's pretty cool. Like, he's respectful. He's a gentleman. Okay, like, I was thinking, you know, maybe I'll find him a date tonight, you know, and like, but also he wasn't really like my type either. So, you know, I was trying to find like a win-win.
But at the same time,
I was feeling him. He was cute. And then, so then we get to this next bar, right? And my cousin is there. Let's call him Captain Kirk, okay? So Captain Kirk is at this next bar, and he's at the bar, and he immediately like gives me a hug, and then he whispers in my ear, I'm gonna take this MILF home tonight. And I'm like, okay, good for you, right? I'm dying. I'm like, all right, whatever. I guess he likes older women. Anyway, so me and dude number 2, my friend, we sit at the table in the back, and he's just like, wow, your brother has big muscles, blah, 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 blah. Like talking about Captain Kirk like he's so awesome. I was like, yeah, he thinks he's cool. He's all right. You know, like, I don't want to talk about him. Bro, we're on a date. Then some girl, right, comes up to him and like is trying to flirt with him, and he looks so awkward, and he like tries to tell her, like, I don't know what he's talking to her about, because, you know, inside I don't care. Like, I'm hoping like, oh great, he's gonna find somebody, it'll be so great for him. Like, I'm thinking like we're just truly like, you know, like homies. And then I come up to him, and then he's like, man, it was so weird, I was trying to like, you know, tell her that I was here with you. And I'm like, oh, I don't care, it's okay, you know, you can talk to her, you can talk to whoever you want to while we're here. Anyway, so Captain Kirk and his woman friend come sit with us, and then Captain Kirk's other 2 guy friends come sit with us at this table too. And then Captain Kirk is like, you need to come meet the bartender, right? I'm like, okay. I was like, dude, but I'm here with a date. He's like, this is how you see if he has big D energy, right? I'm like, okay. My little cousin is only like a year younger than me, like 2 years younger than me. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, at this point, I'm tipsy. Like, I'm not really tripping about anything. So I go meet his little friend, the bartender, who, it was just whatever, you know, a little plan to make my date jealous, which I wasn't really trying to do, but whatever. Okay, so 4th of July last year was on Sunday, I think, because it was closing early. And we were just like, dang, we were just getting on a good one, you know, that that we wanted to keep the little party going. Yeah, let's keep it going, right? We keep this little momentum going, right? And we go to another bar. Once we get into this bar, me and dude number 2 play darts. Did we play darts? Me and dude number 2 are playing darts, and we're just like talking, and he's just being like such a gentleman. It was just so cute. And Captain Kirk and his date, I guess his date was really anyways. So then we leave that bar, and then everybody needs to go home. So we decide to drop off the woman we don't know first, right? And we go to her house, and Captain Kirk walks her upstairs, but he decides to FaceTime me while he's walking her upstairs. He's like, Anna, I'm gonna FaceTime you so you know that I'm not trying anything. And I'm like, dude, I do not even, I don't care. I'm not gonna snitch on you. I don't care what you're doing. Like, go ahead, walk her upstairs, come back down. Like, you know, like, I'm on a date too, like, fool. Like, I'm not even tripping. Do whatever, like, you know? So, like, I kind of stayed on the phone with him for a while, but eventually that's why I was like, I trust you. Just, like, drop her off and come back down. Anyways, we start talking about, I guess he's like a car salesman. So he starts asking me about the car. Anyways, we get into like a great conversation, and then we're like just vibing, right? And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like we're just like really cool homies, and we're just like really like hitting it off. Anyways, then like all of a sudden he like grabs my chin, right? And then he just starts like making out with me. This fool could kiss. Like, this fool could freaking kiss. Like, I've only kissed 2 people that are not my exes who could kiss this bomb, right? And I was just like, I was loving it. Freaking Captain Kirk kept calling and interrupting. I was like, Captain Kirk. I was like, literally, just come back down. Call me, you know, when you're down here so we can leave. So we're freaking making out. It's getting hella hot. Like, like I was just like, I'm ready. Like, we can do it. We can freaking do it, right? So we're just like freaking making out. It's so good. And then like I stop for a second, and then like in my head I'm like, damn, he's a bomb kisser, right? And then he backs up for a second. He's like, wow, you really know how to kiss. And I was just like, I was literally just thinking the same about you. He was like, yeah, wow. And then, you know, he like goes in for it. He like goes in for it again. And then I'm sitting here like, I'm sorry. I didn't think like you liked me. I thought, you know, like I would just show you around since, you know, you're visiting. He's like, oh, you're beautiful. You're smart. You're funny. I really like your family. Talking about Captain Kirk. You know, we're having so much fun. I was like, yeah, I thought so too. He's like, Alaska's beautiful. It's still bright outside. So now it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. And it's like a freaking like daylight. Anyways, so by this time, my cousin comes downstairs finally. So we all leave to drop my cousin off. So I dropped him off first, and then Tinder dude was like, do you want to come to my place? And because they had an Airbnb or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, let's go. You know, like, just like hella down, like to keep the night going. I don't know if y'all are like me, but I'm just like the life of the party kind of person, like always just trying to have a good time, which has gotten to me into trouble. But, you know, I'm a little older now, so I know how to handle myself, and like I know when to go home. So we get to the Airbnb, which is in a nice part of downtown that I really like. And I really like, you know, like when they're like old school houses. So like I really like the house. And but we're like, he's like, oh, I sleep in the living room, because I guess he came from New York with a couple or 2 couples, right? So they got the 2 rooms and he just got the living room. So we're in the living room, and I decide that I think we should watch 90 Day Fiancé, because in my state of mind that I was in, I was thinking that he would like to watch the Ukrainian couple because he's Ukrainian. Wow. Okay, if it was crooked this whole time, I'm sorry. Anyways, so, so we're just watching 90 Day Fiancé, but we're still talking. We're like having good conversation. And he was like, wow, doesn't this feel like really comfortable? And I'm sitting there like, yeah, it really does. Like, I feel like I've just known you, right? Like we're just cool. I'm like really into 90 Day Fiancé, and I'm like really focused on the show, and I'm laughing. Anyways, then he starts making out with me again, right? And this time we're not in a car. So, hands are moving places. Like, it's getting a little like extra hot, and it was literally so good. Like, he could freaking kiss. Like, he could freaking kiss. Like, oh. Like, kissing with somebody who like knows how to kiss is just like, I don't know, it's one of them things. So we're just making out, right? And then he starts kind of getting on top of me, right? And I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. I haven't had any in a while. Like, I'm kind of wanting that to happen, right? Like, in my head, I'm like, okay, maybe we can, whatever. I wasn't really thinking straight, but I was kind of like, yeah, let's do it. Not do it. I wasn't thinking that we were gonna do it, but I was like hella ready to have like the hottest making out dry session that I've ever had. Like, that's what I was ready to do, right? So we were doing that, and it was pretty great. Anyways, homeboy was packing. Like, he was freaking packing. He was packing. It was hot. Then I don't even know if I can put this in the film. I don't even know if I can put this in the video, if YouTube's gonna like cut me off or something. So then anyways, so I have to explain this part because it's like, it was so great. You want to talk about it? Okay, so then we're like making out. He's like sucking on my neck. Oh my gosh, I can't even, it feels like, like it's just so great. Like, he's doing everything that I like that he doesn't even know that I like. And I'm just like, I'm taking it, I'm accepting it. We're like YOLO, we're letting this happen, right? So then he like pulls my shirt down and starts, and my bra too, right? And starts like sucking my, like, with a fierceness, like very dominant male energy. And then, he's like, if it hurts, just tell me, okay? And I'll back off. And I'm just like, oh, like, no, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Keep going. I don't, in my head, I'm like, boy, you're doing everything right. Like, I'm really not tripping, like, at all. Like, right. So he's just like doing that. And then, like, he tries to like take off his pants. And then I kind of sit up and I'm like, oh, no, I'm sorry. Like, I like come to my senses. I'm like, I'm sorry. I really, really can't. Right? Like, I can't. So then, yeah. So we're all hot and bothered. He's like, oh, he's like, okay. And, he's kind of just like, wow, that, like, this is so good. I'm like, yeah, it is. Right? Like, wow. And then, he's like, I'll be back. And he goes to the bathroom. I assume to probably get a condom or something, thinking that, it's eventually going to happen. So anyways, I take the opportunity while he's in the bathroom to put on my shoes and leave. I know. But I felt like something was about to go down that I couldn't let go down. Like, in my head, I was like, he's from New York. Like, when am I ever going to see him again? Like, like, I'm thinking that this was just like so romantic and blah, 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 and blah, 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 all these things. So, I get smart and I'm like, no, I need to go. So while he's in the bathroom, I sneak out. Okay? And I go home. But on my way home, I text and I'm like, bye, sorry, right? Because I just, like, I liked him, you know, and I wasn't trying to lead him on or anything. I was just really enjoying what we were doing. And I realized that it just needed to cut and needed to stop right there. Like, it wasn't going to happen. So, I say bye and sorry in my little text message to him, and then he calls and I'm like, hi, you know, I answer because I like him. And he's just like, oh my gosh, did I do something wrong? And I'm like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I promise. Like, it was like, I had the best time. Thank you so much. I really have to go home, you know? And then he's like, well, where's your house at? Can you text me the address? I can come there, you know? And then I'm just like, nah. Like, he thinks that I don't want to do it because we're in the living room, right? Because that's kind of what I said to him on the phone. I was like, no, you know, we're just in the living room and there's people there. And I just feel like, you know, that's too disrespectful. In my head, is like, that's what I'm telling him. But in my head, I was just like, I really just cannot do it right now. You know, you're gonna scratch my robe. Okay, so then, you know, but he's just being so nice. He was like, just so super duper, super freaking nice. On the phone, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And in my head, I was like, I kind of did want to bring him home, but I just couldn't, right? I couldn't, like, I was like, I need to stop. But anyways, you know, I'm freaking hot and bothered, like a mother fricker. And I get home, and then I'm like, well, I can't do it with him. Maybe I can do it with my ex-boyfriend. Right? So I freaking call my ex-boyfriend. But this story is so not true, so really I didn't call anybody. He's freaking out of town. So then I end up telling him what happened. Because, you know, we end up having, you know, PS. If you don't know what that stands for, then you don't need to know. I don't know. I think I have to cut this part out. Dude number 2 ended up calling me the next morning. He was like, you know, he was texting me and it was nice, and he wanted to hang out, but I just kind of felt like I started like getting in my head about it, so I didn't want to meet up with him. And then he ended up calling me the next day. He's like, hey, I'll take you out to dinner, I'll do this, I got a car so I can come pick you up, and just like super gentleman, super nice. And I really was tempted, but luckily for my own safety, my son came back home that night, so I couldn't, you know. I've woken up a lot since then because I was really naive. Like, I really thought that we had a connection. Like, I thought like we were really like liking each other, you know, like, you know, but maybe, you know, something can happen out of this. Anyways, so then he goes back to New York and I never hear from him again. So that is how I learned that it was all just for the hookup. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great Valentine's Day. I hope whoever loves you is treating you special. And I hope that you are treating yourself extra special. And I'm really tired of all the cute shit that everyone posts on Valentine's Day. So if you don't see me on social media that day, that is why. Yeah. The story was 100% false, so hope you enjoyed it.